play in the NHL, play under those big bright lights. I wanna play in the NHL and dance with the ghosts tonight.
Hey, everybody. Big win tonight for the Oilers. 5-2 final against Ottawa. As you know, I'm Tyler. Chris is there with that pumpkin-looking hat of his, and he looks like a pumpkin, so maybe that's why he's wearing that hat. But this is TC Sports Talk. Welcome to the post-game show.
Yeah, well, you're the pumpkin farmer, so I guess it all makes sense now.
I'm actually wearing a Heritage Classic hat from last year and a flannel, so I don't see anything. I'm a lumberjack, not a farmer. But I was a good try there, Chris.
That's the look you're going for?
Yeah, Oiler fan who's a lumberjack.
Really pulling it off. You look great, Tyler.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate that. So let's get right into it here, folks. We got a jam-packed little bit about an hour show here for you tonight. So we'll start off with tonight's game, and we'll start there. The 5-2 win. McDavid 3 points, Draisaitl 3 points, Bush 3 points, Nuge goal. Skinner a couple good saves, and a lot of them, almost 30 tonight. So the save percentage is climbing up a bit. PK looked really good tonight. Unfortunately, it looks to be another injury on board as well. So a lot to recap from tonight's game here. Let's start off with what Chris's thoughts are on tonight's game. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, it was a nice little bounce back game. It looked like the guys had a little more jump. We were bringing chances in the inside. Like a lot of what we talked about tonight sort of corresponds to what we didn't see last night. There was a little more going to the net. I liked shooting. Like, I mean, it looked like we weren't pussyfooting around the perimeter as much as we were sending pucks to the net, and we were sending guys to the net. And obviously it worked out. Beautiful goal by Bush to start the game on the right foot. Reminded me of, was it Harry Neal talking about Thomas Caberlet? And he said, way back in the day, if any of you remember Thomas Caberlet, but he said he does things on the ice that most people couldn't do. And he does things on the ice that most people wouldn't do. And that first goal by Bush was certainly one of those that most people couldn't do. But he literally split the defense, little toe drag, and just a nice finish. Great goal, and then like a shift or two later, frustrated the hell out of us again. So I just hope that folks don't get too down on him, because sometimes you get what you get, right? But overall, a really nice response game. And again, like I said, I like the resilience that we showed tonight. It was a lot. It was so much of what we didn't see last night. So just my overall take from the jump here.
Okay.
You?
I thought they played better. Unfortunately, Corey Perry looks tired. I think that running 11-7 the last 3 games and trying to get as much cap as you can, every dollar all the time, it's starting to show Corey Perry and Derek Ryan's age, and I think that's going to become more of a problem before it becomes a solution. I think I noticed that a lot. The defense is a big problem. Like, I'm sorry, great, Josh Brown, you fight. Awesome. Thanks for getting in a fight with us. Go back down to the minors. He's on the ice for that second goal against.
You're locking up there, pal.
Oh, I'm fine. You're locked up. So Chris's machine is locked up. I'm still moving normally. So seems like Chris is having the issue, not me. So I'll just go on here. But Josh Brown's in front of the net there on that second goal, and he's not even tying the guy's stick up. That's why he was able to tap it in. A little deflection there. So yeah, I'll leave that with that. I think we have an issue here, so Chris has left the stream, folks, which is the best for the both of us. So also being that third period, big news coming out of there. Zach Hyman went down with an injury. I'm trying to just pull up any information I can now on the Zach Hyman injury. And
did I freeze up on you? Because you froze up on me for the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was moving all along. My screen was moving, so it was yours that was frozen.
Holy cow! Okay, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the people out there are saying, but you froze on me.
No, you were frozen.
Okay.
Because I was still going. Yeah, I didn't reset. So you're the problem.
I'm gonna hope that that our faithful audience of one um, uh, didn't notice me, didn't notice what I saw. So you want to recap what you just told me? What you just said in the last
Sorry.
3 minutes, or
No, I just talked about Josh Smith is probably going back down tomorrow, so it doesn't really matter that he got in a fight tonight or did anything great like that. See you later, Josh. Beat it.
I thought he looked better than he did in the preseason in the 2 games that he
Are
played.
you drunk? How many bourbons have you had? Are you drunk?
Nope.
He's a fucking pylon. He's like your hat.
Okay.
You should be wearing your fucking hat.
Okay. Okay. I I didn't see it. Like why the emotional response
Hold
too?
on,
By the way.
hold on. Chikai. I would understand a comment like he looked pretty better out there today from a guy like Capspace, who's dumber as opposed. But I think you got up your intelligence level to think that Josh Brown is any kind of hockey player. He had the
Okay.
worst GA percentage last year in the entire league of any player that played only one game. Even he was that bad. Like he was 738th out of 738. In the preseason, he was last. He shouldn't be on this team. He's a garbage. He's a garbage can fire. They should
Okay.
literally put him on the high level bridge, take the suicide bars off, and push him.
Okay. That's one take. He's been doing well. Listen, first of all, I'm not a cheerleader. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised that he didn't shit the bed like in the
He
2 games
did.
that he's played.
He did. He
Like,
literally was the cause of the second goal, not tying the guy's stick up. Beat it.
okay. Okay. Well,
He's slow-footed. He's not an NHL player.
all right. And
He's not an NHL player, and he's especially not an NHL player on a Stanley Cup contender.
I agree with you there. Like if he sees 1 second of time in the playoffs, then we're doomed.
In the
But
playoffs, if he sees 1 second of time after November 30th,
well, he played a full game tonight and we won. So
I said he had nothing to do with the win.
okay, just trying this from another angle then. Uh our PK is actually looking a lot better, actually, since we talked about it last week. I don't know if they surrendered a PK goal in the week that we talked
It's
about.
13. It's 13 straight opportunities, but it's not. It's 13 It's 13 opportunities, sir.
Right, but Josh Brown was there. He was in the picture last night, tonight, and I thought, like, we talked a lot about missing like a heavier guy with a longer reach last week when when we were lamenting the fortunes of our PK, and it looked to me like Josh Brown held his own in our own end during the PK. So take it for that's my opinion. Are you still with us? Oh man. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
here.
Okay. So you don't agree with me?
But I took my earbuds out because I didn't want to listen to you talk about Josh Brown and his size because I think it's an absolute piss poor argument and a fucking waste of my time. To be completely honest with you, he doesn't have the skill to compete at a regular level in the NHL, and I don't want to waste my airtime talking about him. Josh Brown, beat it. I don't care if I have to drive him to the airport. I don't want him on this team. We're not an NHL team with him on our roster. Same as Juju Jukara. All those guys in the past that, oh no, he didn't resign. Oh no, Sam Gunn, he didn't resign. Beat it. You're not good enough to be on a championship team anymore. Derek
Yeah,
Ryan, they should put him with the pasture. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I don't
Actually,
waste my time on dog guys like Josh Brown.
okay. So, yeah, I agree with you. We got too much to cover here without worrying about a guy who you say is going to get sent down tomorrow. Do you think that Nurse is ready for Thursday?
No, I just think they go 12-6 because they have Caspanian coming in or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
To fill a couple. They're gonna put him back on waivers unless he does something magical when Arvidsson's healthy.
okay. Yeah, and that's
That's
the
my
other
thought.
thing. Like, I like the first. I wasn't. That was a head scratcher when I saw that come on the wire there today. I mean, he got 20 goals once in his career, and that was with the Leafs in 18-19. He's fast and he PKs. Now, there were two things that occurred to me when that happened. The first one is, how long is Arvidsson out? Is it more than day to day? And then the other thing that occurred to me is, well, he's a right shot, and we've been overusing Perry and Ryan. So
All of the above.
yeah, and then The other thing is because of our roster situation, adding his contract takes us out of LTIR with Kane, right?
Puts us
Or puts him.
into L area.
Yeah, and so what happens? What happens? We send Brown down, who makes about the same. He makes the same amount as Kaspinen. So
Yeah, then
we
we're out of
send.
it. Then we're out of LTR again.
Okay, so we send Brown down. We add just a little more depth, and we're still collecting, or what is it? Accruing cap space, right?
Accumulating. Yeah, accruing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then why would you send him? Why would you just curiously asking the question? You're in fine form tonight, and I don't want to get hammered. Um, like, so you send Josh Brown down. Arvidsson's healthy. Kaspanen's contributing, and you can give Perry and Ryan, who are 40 and 36 respectively, a little more time in the press box to sort of be fresher in the playoffs. Does that make sense? Is that something that you might consider the Oilers to do?
That's what I just said. Like, this literally is what I said at the start of this talk about why we did it.
No, but
Like, were
I'm
you not
sorry.
paying attention?
No, you froze up there, but I got the impression from you that you said the minute that Arvidsson's healthy, he's going to get put back on waivers.
No, I said that's a strong possibility.
Okay, so then that's not what you said.
No, but maybe you call up Noah Phillip.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing him just because he adds an element of speed to our roster, and fourth line, a little bit more speed. You won't hear me complaining, especially if Perry and or Ryan get a night off. They both look like a little overused tonight for sure.
Definitely,
For sure.
definitely. Yeah.
Even though that was
So
a nice pass from Ryan to Nuge for that last goal.
yeah, sure, great. You made it one pass. Good, great.
Yeah.
Let's write those names down here on my little pad here, Ryan and Perry, and we'll come back next week and see what they do with it. But let's move on now to the slew of injuries, including one tonight. Like I was saying, Hyman went out at the start of the third period with could be anything lower body. If he's out for any length of time, we have what that changes things even more. So right, then I think we have to go into LTIR and bring up some more bodies.
Or you've got Kaspinen now. And I mean, he's not a top 6 player anymore, if ever. But at least you have a little depth that you can use, presuming that Arvidsson's back next game, right?
Presuming that, yeah. Presuming that,
So
and
I mean,
then
it's not ideal, but at least we have that body, right?
yep, no, I hear you there. And then the biggest thing we were kind of holding off to get till we got to the second quarter of the show, as I like to say. Let's get into first the Leaf game and not really the game itself, because the game was over as soon as they didn't score on the match penalty as a result of the Ryan Reeves hit on Darnell Nurse. I was watching the game with a buddy, and I said, remind me at the end of the game to say something to you. So then I waited till the end of the game, and he's like, what were you going to say? And I was like, well, I actually put it in my phone and texted it to myself so there'd be a timestamp. And I was like, they didn't score on the 5-minute power play. They're not winning this hockey game. And I was right. They weren't winning the game. So for those folks that for some reason haven't seen the hit or anything, Reeves cut Nurse right on the chin with a legal intent to injure check to the head. So Nurse was knocked out cold, which maybe hopefully smartens him up down the road, but we'll see. And as a result of that, the Oilers got a 5-minute power play, and they did nothing with it. They had 2 shots, and one was a chance, and one was garbage.
Yeah, that was unacceptable. It was very disappointing. Now, before we get too deep into that, what did you think of the hit? I know everyone's going to talk.
I at live speed, I said it was a match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, live speed.
Yeah, based on today's NHL rules, you're right. And honestly, when I first saw it, I was really pissed off. It looked exactly like he was targeting Nurse's head. And obviously that's against the rules now. But upon further reflection, like the next day, and listen, like I'm obviously like I'm with the boys. I'm an Oiler fan, whatever. But you got to be objective about these things. And hell, you used to be a ref. Come on, like it, like I read a really interesting article by Luke Fox out of Toronto when he was talking about Tyler Jeannot's hit on Brock Besser and how he got 3 games and Reeves gets 5. And I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, because Reeves has been suspended before and at least once for the very same thing. So it makes sense that
Hold
he
on.
would get more
What side are
games.
you?
But
What? Hold on. I don't
hang
know
on,
what side you're on right now.
let me
I don't know. Hold
finish.
on. I don't know what side you're on. Would
I'm
you like?
making a
No,
point.
I need more definition.
Okay, I'm getting there. Just fucking relax. So my point is that he went further in the article and he said, you know, Brock Besser's still out, but Tyler Jeannot's playing again, and he suggested that even a guy like Reeves, who has little or no value to his team really compared to Nurse, if Nurse is out longer, then he should then Reeves should be out just as long. And I thought to myself, you know what, 5 games is enough, and if Nurse is out more than 5 games, well, you know what, we'll tack the end on to Nurse for not having his head up when he's coming around the net with the puck on his stick in the corner. So again, you hate to see anything like this happen. You don't want to see it happen, but at the same time, I think that um, some of the ugliness of that hit could have been mitigated by Nurse being a little bit more aware on the ice.
This,
All
so
right, I
this
said it.
you're picking tonight. You're picking tonight to start talking about the onus is on the player taking the hit. Eh? This is the night when I'm on fire, and this is the night you want to do this. Eh? Perfect, Chris. So you're driving down the fucking road, and you stop at a stop sign, and you're proceeding to go, but the guy coming the other way drills you. So if your car's in the shop longer than his, it's okay throwing the back on because you didn't stop again for a second time when you saw the guy running it. That's what you're telling me, man. You're about as dumb as Capspace tonight. But
Well,
Ryan Reeves should have got 10 games. He came around. He literally sped up on the left side of the net and took 4 strides, went like this, and aimed his shoulder directly at Nurse's chin. And he was going there to intentionally injure the guy. I'm sorry.
okay. And you
Like
know
there
what?
is no doubt in my mind.
I am not. I am
But
not disputing. I'm not
no,
disputing
but
any
you're
of
saying
that.
that you said that the nurse should be responsible with his head down coming around the net. No, he shouldn't. NFL, you can't even hit a fucking quarterback anymore. These players are supposed to feel protected anymore. Ryan Reeves is a predator. His type isn't needed in the NHL anymore, and he should have never got a 3-year deal from the Leafs 2 years ago in the offseason. He's got a year and a half more on his contract, man. Like, I'm sorry. He doesn't belong in today's NHL.
Okay, I'm going to come at this from a different angle. As
Well,
an
it's probably going
Oiler
to be wrong,
fan,
too.
as an Oiler fan, uh, I would have appreciated if Nurse was a little more aware coming around the net with the puck on his stick in the corner when there's a forecheck coming his way, because then maybe he wouldn't be out as long, or maybe he would have mitigated some of the
Holy fuck, are you
pain of what
stupid?
happened.
It wasn't even a forecheck. Reeves was almost at a dead stop on the left side of the net and cut across the net at full speed and fucking took his shoulder. It wasn't a forecheck, man. Nurse didn't know Reeves was going to be going full. He has to be protected by the official, and he was. Nurse
Yeah.
is not on the
Okay,
onus here. Your argument is absolutely horseshit.
I'm not making an argument. I'm making a
You're
point.
saying that onus is on Nurse. None of it's on Nurse. He would have made
No.
a play. If he gets hit in the shoulder, that
Oh,
puck
for
goes into the
fuck's sakes,
corner.
this guy. Listen, I'm saying that an element, however small, of what occurred there might have been avoided if Nurse was a little more aware with the puck on his stick coming around the net.
I
That's it. That's all
disagree.
I'm saying.
If Nurse gets hit in the shoulder there, if Nurse gets hit shoulder to shoulder, we're not talking about this.
Okay, so just so we're clear, if you're coaching bantam kids first year that you get to hit, like in organized hockey, minor hockey, are you telling all your players, don't worry, don't keep your head up, fellas, it's no big deal, because the guy who's coming to check you, it's his job to make sure that he doesn't hurt you? Is that what you're going to tell your kids?
Different type of players. Yeah, Chris. I'm going to tell my kids. Maybe don't. I wouldn't put. Actually, I'm not having kids, so maybe you should
It's
have.
fucking
Maybe you should have
fundamentals.
said
It's
carrot.
fundamentals.
Yeah, but everyone skates their head down. Look at Paul Correa. He made an NHL, and
Yeah,
he
and
wasn't
look, yeah.
protected back then. He wasn't protected back then. That hit's been out of the game, and the only guys that keep doing it are 9.999 times out of 10, a repeat offender who shouldn't have a team or spot on the team on an NHL roster because the rest of the players have more respect for the game. So I wouldn't have my kid in a low enough level where they're not playing against kids that respect the game. It's like check from behind. It's like check from behind. They had those stop signs in the back of jerseys for years, but it came out of the game because people respected it and want to see another person paralyzed. It's respect. Ryan Reed doesn't have any respect because he's a thug.
Okay. And again, just for the record, I'm not excusing anything that Ryan Reeves did. I'm not. I think it was a horrible play, and the less of those we see, the better. But at the same time, sometimes you can overrule awareness and maybe take too much responsibility away from the player with the puck.
Okay, well, we're gonna do this again, and
yeah.
Is our guest ready for tonight? Maybe we can bring our guest on and have a little time out from each other.
Yeah, she's gonna come on here right away. Yeah. Yeah. Off you go. Now, just
so quickly before our guest joins us, in the Montreal game last night, all I want to say about that is McDavid looked pissed the entire game. Like he couldn't believe how crappy everyone was playing. And then him and Draisaitl go on a line to go put the same line tonight, each get 3 points. So I think McDavid was like, you guys aren't fucking doing your jobs. And he probably made clear of it last night. Said
I saw at least 3 uncharacteristic examples of McDavid being visibly frustrated for sure during that game. Yes. But he and Draisaitl also played together for the better part of the third last night. Not that it mattered, but yeah. So
that's way better.
Just waiting for our. So yeah, actually, by the way, with regards to the intro song that I spent a lot of time and energy on for Andrea for Hockey Shorts for Andrea's segment, YouTube wouldn't play it. We weren't allowed to put it on Spotify or anything because we got copyrighted for the song that we used fucking 20 seconds of. So I don't want to. We're going to figure out a way around it, by the way, because I think it's a great intro. I'm just not going to do it. Just not going to do it this time. We'll take it from there. But yeah, like I didn't know that it was so restrictive with all these social media sites. And I mean, like it's not like anybody combed through and watched like the whole hour that we did. It's like they have algorithms and shit that catch that stuff. So luckily for us, they don't do it for our other segment, but I'm going to find a way around that because I think it's a kick-ass intro. And I think
whatever you changed on the audio just in the last 3 minutes,
yeah,
it's a much better sound.
Here. Oh, it's better now?
Way better. Whatever you change is way better.
All right. So you like it better like this?
Well, because I took mine out because Rumble has a problem with earbuds.
Okay, well, I've been using them before, but I don't care. Whatever.
No,
whatever
the whole time it was a problem. It was a whole problem this time.
Oh, whatever sounds better. Like, but yeah, I know we watched the game tonight, and Andrea's got some takes on some stuff that, well, I'll leave it to her.
I have to log in.
Oh.
That was down.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, just give us a second.
Well, Chris is getting his technical difficulties sorted out. Maybe he can mute his microphone, and I can give you up to. I can't mute myself, but I wish I could. Let's talk about fantasy football pickups of the week, folks. If you're in any kind of good league, most of these players won't be available, but people because all you see these places on the internet. Like, oh, pick this guy up. You know what? I've been playing fantasy football in my 2 big leagues I'm in for 10 years, and both of them right now. And I see all these waiver pickups for the week. You know what? I have never once seen a player available in my league that they have on these lists because they're already owned. And I have very small benches in these leagues. But people are just good. We don't keep crap on our team. So, right now, the top player, people are picking up in my potential league is mostly from the Chargers. There's no one else available to pick up other than that for a non-quarterback team player.
Who from the Chargers?
That would have more projected points. Like, I'm
Who
not
from the
very
Chargers?
Will Disley, the tight end.
Oh, Disley.
Will Disley. Yeah.
Let me ask you
Disley.
this.
So, like, there's not a lot of players available. So that's my little rant of the week, is that there's not a lot of quality players to pick up.
Well,
ever in quality leagues. And it's called the bye. It is the bye. It's like the apocalypse of bye week. And I don't have bye week problems, because when I drafted this year, I drafted properly. Even the trades I made straight bye week players for everything. So I don't have any issues. I'm not even making a waiver claim tonight. I don't need to.
I totally get the bye week thing, because I don't have a bench this week, but I have a good enough team that I'm not worried about it. I will say, though, I hate doing this, but I had Taysom Hill. I've had him for like 3 weeks. He got me like 9 points the week before. Not bad for a tight end. It's a good guy to have on a tight end flex kind of thing, eh? So I got 182 points last week. So not for nothing. I got Bo Nix too. I had some pretty. It was lucky. You know, after about 150, the rest is lucky.
I got 145. I got 145 with Taysom Hill on my bench.
Holy cow, eh? And who was your lowest? Like, who was your tight end? What did he get you?
Goddard. I wanted a guy in to watch on Thursday night last week, so I gave him like 8.5.
Hey, by the way,
I just wanted
when I was in Vegas, my buddy Benny, he likes to gamble a little bit. In fact, that's like he does pretty well in the endeavor. And I'm like, he's a huge football fan. And I'm like, how come you don't play fantasy? He's like, oh, because you can't do both. You can't gamble and play fantasy, because sometimes you're cheering against yourself. And he's like, what? Like, if I win a fantasy league and it's like, what, $5 a week or whatever, like, do I really give a shit about my fantasy team? Like, compared to like a bet that I make, that's a 3-game parlay. So anyway, just another way to look at it. We have Andrea on now, unless you had any other fantasy you wanted to check out there.
No, just waiting for our guest to come in.
All right. Well, here's our hockey short segment without the intro, featuring Andrea, and I'll get her on right now. Once she gets her stuff sorted out. Oh, wait a minute. Auto. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, we were going to bring in a producer when we started doing this, but we couldn't find anyone how to work it. And now I'm seeing that if an idiot cannot run it. It has now been proven. An idiot named Chris cannot run.
Hang on.
Oh, he muted himself. Andrea. Oh, there's cameras on. Yeah, there
we go. Just give me a second.
Welcome to the show, Andrea. I mean, if we can mute Chris's mic, I could have a real conversation.
Oh, come on, Tyler. You know that'll never happen.
It's impossible to mute Chris, that's for sure. So what do you got for us tonight?
So one of my other ideas for the hockey shorts was the not being able to lie down or to take a knee when they're in front of the net, protecting the goal. So I think you spend all this time, all these years dedicated to training, practice, tournaments, like from when you're a small child all the way up, you get drafted, you go to the farm team, then you make it to the NHL, you're playing, and then what happens? You just lie down flat in front of the net, okay? You get 2 skates and you get a stick. That's what you get. I don't think they should be allowed to lie down flat to protect the net, or even to take a knee, like a half knee, that sort of thing. I don't think that's allowed. I know they never used to do it before. And as Chris pointed out, they obviously only started really doing that when they all wore helmets with the visors, right? So they wouldn't actually be getting hit. Well, the chances of getting injured were less, right? So I don't think they should be allowed to do that, because I think it's actually cheating, because like I said, they get 2 skates and a stick. They should be able to use that skill that they've acquired over this like decades of training and practices to get to that kind of level. So just to like lie down flat and not use it, I don't think it should be allowed. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's an absolutely horrible idea.
But you see my point, though. I mean, just to take a step back,
No,
you see my point. They never used to do it, right? They only started doing it when they started wearing helmets.
I just went through this with Chris for 10 minutes. The respect factor in the game is gone for some aspects, and firing pucks at will is gone. So guys are going to go down because they can cover their head, block with their body. And most guys aren't doing the flamingo anymore. The flamingo is very rare. That's the one knee on the ice or one leg up in the air. It's very rare now, except for a lot of European-born players, because they know the chance of injuries at a higher risk, because most of the time you're leaving something exposed, but it's inside of your leg, inside of your skates. So that's no longer happening. And as far as laying on the ice go, there are penalties against it. If, say, the puck gets shot under you and you don't make a reasonable attempt to get up, the referee can call a delay game penalty on you.
I have never seen that ever. They're lying down left, right, and center. I have never seen that. No.
It's. I think what Tyler's saying though is a different circumstance. And Andrea, just so I'm not misquoted here, I never said that the origin was when guys started wearing helmets, because I remember Craig McTavish like dutifully blocking shots in the PK lots, and other guys too. But the one thing that Andrea said that sort of appealed to me, not that I necessarily endorse the NHL, the GMs or the rules or the governors, whoever figures out the rules committee or whatever. But like, I fucking hate, and this is just the way the game is now. Like, I mean, you see it in the playoffs all the time. And when your team doesn't do it, you get pissed off, because everyone collapses in front of the net. And it's certainly less artful than guys playing hockey. So for example, like in the playoffs, I mean, when we played the Panthers, when you get the puck past the hash marks, there's like fucking four guys. There's one checker and four guys like almost in the blue paint. And I would endorse a rule that said that any player that lies with any part of their body touching the blue paint besides the goalie gets 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's there versus like 6 inches up or half a foot up, like, I mean, it's still, again, they shouldn't, if they're that good at defending, they should have skidded their asses faster down there to defend, okay? Or they shouldn't have been so far up. They should have been more aware of the puck, okay? And if they're that scared that they can't defend their net, then why aren't they practicing more? Where's the puck handling? Where's the umpteen other, defensive strategies that they can use other than just, I'm just going to lie flat. I can't do anything else. I'm just going to lie flat.
Well, like I said, none of this is realistic enough that anyone's going to win.
I just think block shots is part of the game, and I think sliding the block with your shin pads is more than courageous. I mean, there's been guys who've been hitting the throat before. They're risking their lives to block these shots. and when they come
good on them.
And when they come to the bench,
they could be doing that anyway. I mean, we've seen shots go up and hit guys in the face or hit guys in the neck, even if they're standing. So it's just like, it's not even with the injury. It just kind of comes down to it's like I said, it's almost like a form of cheating, where it's again, I've seen it before in some games where there's two guys lying in front of the net. It's like, come on, like that's
because they're trying to win the game.
Well, like I can't believe I'm sort of siding with Tyler here, because like those guys, like from time immemorial, like I use Craig McTavish as an example. Like on the PK, when you're down a man and there's a guy winding up for like a massive clapper, like holy shit! Like when that guy blocks a shot, like every guy, he skates to the bench, and half the time, like especially if the guy's injured, everybody's giving him a stick tap. Everyone's like patting him on the head, or like even remember Hendricks, like 5 or 6 years ago, he took that one in the cup. Big dent.
Well, the dent in the cup, yeah.
So I mean, there's some nobility in that, and you take one for the team, 100%. I don't agree with you there. Where I do agree with you is the 4 men collapsing in front of the goalie. But that's just where the game is now. So a reasonable rule, in my opinion, to reiterate what I said, was I'll take any time and space in today's game, because it's at a fucking premium. Is if there was some way that you could incorporate it where guys can't do it in the blue paint, that would make me actually happy. Tyler,
there is a rule.
You can't put your hand on the puck in the blue paint.
Yeah,
you can lie down.
So, but you have to make a reasonable attempt to get up if it gets shot under you, and if not, they could call delay a game. And the referee's got to have big balls, and a lot of these guys don't have big balls anymore because they're trying to keep working on. Refereeing's awful right now in the NHL.
Yeah, you know what? Since you mentioned it, this is a pet peeve that I don't think I've mentioned on the show. fuck me with the coincidentals, or not with the embellishment. Okay. You want to talk about refs that have no fucking balls? Okay. Every single time there's an embellishment, both players go off. What the fuck? Because if I tripped you, I tripped you. There is no need for embellishment. Now I get sometimes guys will overact or whatever, but I mean, like, fuck me. Every time, like Tyler, if I skated by you and my stick didn't touch you and you collapsed, I'm gonna get a penalty because you embellished. You won't just go to the box just yourself. Like, when is the last time you saw that fucking happen? Where there was an embellishment and only one guy, the guy who embellished, went in the box.
Well, because usually it is started with like an actual trip or a hit or something, and the guy just overdoes it. So no, there actually is a trip or a slash. Like, it's not like the guy just barely passes by him and then gets called, oh, you tripped him. And
it's gutless officiating. Tyler?
I have to say I have called it in the past. I believe it was on a hook, because the guy wasn't even getting tugged. The guy actually was. I could see the guy's stick moving up and down with the body without touching the body. And then the guy just fell backwards on his own without being touched. So I have called it, but it is very rare. And I mean, the rule is stated is to call the other one as well and call them both. Unfortunately, that's why it goes 4-on-4. But that's just unfortunately the way it's written in the NHL rulebook, is that you have to call the other one, because as you state, there is a penalty, but they're embellishing it. They're not making it up; they're embellishing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that if we're playing and you skate by me and I fucking collapse, okay, and you don't even touch me.
Well, the referee fucks up then, Chris. No, I'm saying that the referee fucks up. It can be called, but it says if there's a foul beforehand or a partial foul, you have to call it because he was in the process of fouling the player and the player embellished it.
So essentially, like if you hadn't called it and it kind of carried through, he would have tripped the guy. Like, it would have happened. Or he would have slashed him. Like, it would, if you carried it through, it would have still happened.
One of the subsections in the NHL rulebook. Yeah, if you ever want to spend some time falling down a rabbit hole, pull up the NHL rulebook, and there's subsection after subsection after subsection on every rule that breaks down.
That would be worse than the experience I'm having talking to you right now. Not saying a lot.
Perfect. Do you have anything else tonight for us there, Andrea? What else do you have for us?
No, that was probably kind of it. I don't know. I haven't been watching as much hockey lately, but no, that was always a big pet peeve. I'm just like, you just see all these guys. Yeah, I understand collapse. And then, but I mean, just like the lying flat, like I said, I think that's cheating. Like, I mean, they should be using that sticks handling, using the peripheral vision, whatever means at their disposal, other than just lying completely flat like a log. Like, I don't agree with it. That's the story.
I have one last question for you. I got one last big question for you, and I just want a yes or no answer, then we'll let you go. Just simple yes or no. Do you feel that the onus of the hit that Reeves laid on Nurse is any bit on Nurse for being knocked out like that?
No.
That's it. No, one word. That's it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
you so much.
I don't think so. I think he was good.
Thank you. That's it. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Fuck out of here.
No. That was a horrible hit. That guy should be getting kicked out.
I appreciate your time and coming on here.
Anytime.
Okay, listen. Do you have any takes on the game tonight versus last night? Because you watched 2 periods tonight, and you watched last night.
Who? Oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
Well, like last night they had a really good ballet going, right? Like, I mean, there was a lot of good passing, a lot of fancy kind of schmancy moves and stuff. Tonight, like, well, I mean, Ottawa's nowhere near as good, but like last night's game, like you were telling me, like, I mean, Montreal's not that good in the standings, but that was a fast game. Like, I mean, like, remember I even said, I'm like, the only way someone's going to score tonight is it's just going to be like a lucky score. That's going to be it. And that's what happened that first shot on Pickard. Because it was going into 2 periods and nothing, right? Like, it was so many close calls on both sides, like some really good tries, right? So I just love to see like the nice passing, and sometimes like 5, 6, 7 passes, and then getting it right up and then getting the shot, and then it hits the post, or just ended up getting the goalie ended up getting it. But it's nice to see that skill is there, that trust is there between the players. Like they know where everyone's supposed to be, everyone knows where they're supposed to be, to kind of make some of that stuff happen. So sometimes it's just not gonna be your night, right?
So last night it wasn't, and tonight it was.
Yeah. I mean, Ottawa's not nowhere near as good. Like that was not a fast game either. Like the turnovers, like the transitions in the neutral zone were a lot better. Like it was a lot smoother game. Like I don't know. They definitely didn't have it. I don't know if they were tired or jet lagged or what, but no, Ottawa did not have it tonight.
That's an intelligent take, Andrea. Let's just ask you one more question. You were referring to the implements that the players are wearing on their hands last night. What was the word you used?
Mittens.
Thanks very much, Andrea. Always great to have you with the intelligent takes. Fantastic.
You're welcome.
Hey, you and your mittens. Off you go.
Bye, Tyler. Thanks.
Thank you for being on tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. We'll get a little fun into the action here. Let's throw on that mood. Chris, let's stop waiting for the sporting world. And as myself, it's that time of year where we're starting to get into the holiday season. When is it too soon for Christmas music for you, Chris?
Too soon is now. I was at the store like literally a fucking month ago. And I saw I think it was Canadian Tire or something, and they had like Christmas trees. I'm like, or it might have been Costco. Either way, I'm like, the fuck off. And I don't think we had our Thanksgiving yet. This is how long ago it was. But I like me a Christmas jingle, and I've had years where I've listened to a lot, and years where I haven't. And I always get a little more in the spirit when there's some Christmas tunes playing. But it's always the day after American Thanksgiving. You?
All right. So for anyone that lives in Canada, you can do everything you want on November 12th, if that's what you choose to do. And if you're American, then you have to wait until the Monday after the Thanksgiving weekend. That's my take. It's not a hot take. That's just my personal take.
So you're saying if you're Canadian, it's Canadian Thanksgiving. If you're American, it's American Thanksgiving.
No, November 12th. November 12th is the earliest I allow anything Christmas.
November 12th period.
Yeah. And
So
if you're American, it's the Monday after U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you're saying.
Canadians can do it November 12th.
Yeah, but I for some reason Sinatra's got. Well, it's not a new album, obviously. Well, actually, "LA Is My Lady" was remastered a couple weeks ago, and that's fantastic. But
he's dead.
Yeah, I know. They remastered his Holidays record, and I'm really looking forward to tucking into that. Favorite Christmas song of all time, Tyler?
"Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" by Brenda Lee.
Wow. Good for you.
Oh, wow, eh? Shocked you with that one, didn't I, eh?
Yeah, you're always so positive. Yeah. Andy Williams, "Most Wonderful Time of the Year" is number one. Close second, Hall & Oates, "Jingle Bell Rock."
My close second is "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Oh, which one?
The old school version.
Like Nat King Cole and whomever.
Yeah.
Dean
They're
Martin
barred from the radio right now.
Dean Martin did a really good version of that, but I can't remember who the woman is.
It's barred from the radio in Canada because.
Oh yeah, I know how fucking stupid that is. Andrea made a point that
we got about 15 minutes here. So I just want to get in a few more topics here. So
okay, I think we'll be able to do that. I just wanted to ask you a question. Just other stuff I'm seeing on the blogs and other social medias and all that stuff is it looks like there's like sort of a goaltender. I mean, aside from everybody fucking wanting to trade Bouchard, which is so stupid, but is the goaltending question. I'm hearing a lot of people like even Kieran was over and he's like just fucking hates Skinner. And it's pretty. It reminded me. It's pretty reflective of some of the stuff I'm seeing, like I said, on the social medias and stuff, where there's like a lot of guys that fucking are really down on our goaltending this year.
So my thoughts on that is Skinner's 5-1-1 now in his last 7 starts.
Yep.
And He's not getting paid like anything more than a mid-tier goalie, and he probably won't. His next contract, he's not get paid anything more than a mid-tier goalie. The Oilers don't have the luxury of signing a 9, 8, 10, $11 million goaltender. They have the luxury of signing a goalie that they got to score 3 or 4 to win. That's just, you can say once in a while he step up, once every 5 games, it's Skinner will steal you one, but he's not doing it 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah,
I agree. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And as far as this, I have a fine. You bring back Tom Pody. The Oilers media, for the long as I can remember, just likes to whip on anyone, and then it becomes a whipping boy. Especially now with the social media age and the X age and the message board days and the blogs, whatever you want to call them. The player, whoever the media names, becomes a whipping boy, and it's just a constant whipping boy. Tom Pody was traded here and then played 8 or 10 more seasons in the NHL, maybe more, and was a very serviceable defenseman. Justin Schultz went on to win a Stanley Cup. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that that's the way it works with our media.
Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey. No one was
Tom
in tears
Pody went on to
left.
play. Yeah, Paul Coffey. Yeah, Tom Pody went on to play 9 more years after his first 3.5 with the Oilers.
Yeah. I don't think Jeff Petrie was.
He was plus 26. He was plus 26 one year. Weird.
Nobody was pissed
Jeff
off.
Petrie.
Yeah.
Devin Dubnyk.
Yeah, that's another thing. But I agree. First of all, I agree with you wholeheartedly about Skinner. He's the best value for a goaltender at $2.6 million in the league without question. Also, I feel really good about Pickard this year. Like, I know we lost last night, and I know that second goal he probably would have wanted to have back. But listen, when guys say it's a 3-2 league and you allow 2 goals in an empty netter, you can't blame the goalie. I'm sorry. Does he want that one back? Sure, but he probably wants 2 goals from our fucking forwards more. And I just like the way the kid, for his size, plays square. His positional play exceeds Skinner's, but Skinner's lucky to have an extra couple inches on him. I'm quite happy with our tandem, and a lot of this stuff. This happened as far back as Coffee, and I was around, believe it or not, to see it. Is even Justin Schultz, man, like fuck, like where you hear people get down on him, and back in the day it was the call-in shows after the game. Now it's the message boards and the fucking blogs and all that shit, and the social medias and like X, of course. TC Sports Talk on X, by the way. I'm Toast_Chris on X. Like I read that shit and I'm like, man, I hope these players aren't reading this, because man, fuck off. Like it's important to have analysis. It's important to have opinions, and I respect everyone that has one, and fair fucks to you. But man, some people are just goddamn childish. It's like, oh, I'm sorry the Oilers lost, and it's like, I gotta blame somebody. It's like, you know what? Try to be mature. Try to be fucking mature in your opinions, and look at all the facts, and don't just like get butthurt because some guy didn't have a good game and say it's all his fault and then go on a crusade to get the guy out of town. Like, fuck off. If you love this team, you love this team, and you're cheering for everybody, whether they have a good game, a bad game, or they're in a rut or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. There's always exceptions, and I'm sure I'll get on them when there are exceptions. But in the meantime, fucking take a break and cheer for your team like you should, in my opinion.
I'm just trying to pull up a stat here. Just bear with me. I only want it to be on one of them.
Oh,
so I have a point to make here. So if you pull up the league, I've been talking about shooting percentage for many shows now. The Oilers are 31st in the NHL in shooting percentage right now. A whopping 7 percentage points behind the league leaders, and I would call it anywhere from 4.8 to 5.4%. So if you go back to the number of shots the Oilers have, which is 661, which is up near the top so far, they are actually first in the league in shots. So of 661, so 6 times 5, call it, that's 30 more goals. So now I'm going to go over to the total number of goals scored by every team and add 30 goals to the Oilers, how many goals they've scored in the league. So The most scored so far this year is 80 by the Winnipeg Jets.
Like most
85.
goals scored
And the
total.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, we're not getting the puck luck that we should deserve, and the shooting percentage is going to come back. Because even if you say out of 18, we're still at 73, which puts us third or fourth in the league. So I'm sorry. It's all going to even out right away. And that's my last take on that. On the Oilers, let's change it up. We got two more things to cover here, folks. We want to talk about who got fired today and maybe who's next. Jim Montgomery out as Bruins coach. Chris, you wanted to touch on that, my friend?
Yeah, I do. Man, like, okay, listen. Jay Woodcroft took us to the second round of the Stanley Cup Finals, or sorry, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the team shit the bed last year, and he was summarily dismissed. And he got a contract the year before too, but he didn't achieve anything. He didn't do anything. Like, I mean. And I got nothing bad to say about the guy, but at the end of the day, the team doesn't get results. I mean, it's easier to fire the coach than the team. Okay, we all know that. The same goes for like there's got to be some loyalty in the game, and you see that happen quite often. I mean, Bruce Boudreau, remember when he got chucked from Vancouver and they had a shite team, and Bruce, there it is, right? That was more fan driven, but still, Jim Montgomery, like the guy lost 41 games in 2 seasons. That's fucking unheard of. Okay. And here's my question. Okay. This is what I get it. This is a results business, and I totally get it. And I respect that. And if you suck, off you go. But fuck me. Like, it's not like he started coaching a different way. Boston made some moves in the offseason. Clearly they're not working out, or guys aren't buying in, or whatever the fuck. But at what point does the GM take responsibility? Like, this guy, can you check your stats top there, Tyler, and tell me like what kind of turnover there was for the Bruins? Because I mean, what did they did pretty well last year. I think they made it to they made it to second round.
Yeah, but the year before, when they had that record run, they
won the President's Trophy, shit the bed in round 1, and he won Coach of the Year. So,
but I'm going to get to next year. I just want to pull this up here. But yeah, I'm going to come back to their coaches of last year's. But if you look at Jim Montgomery, last year when they had still a pretty decent season with quick math here, 94. 100 and whatever points, 109 points. They had 15 overtime lost points last year. Wow. So the team was very trending downwards already. And I don't know if you saw, but Brad Marchand was on the bench last night, and him and the coach were getting into it. And Marchand taps his captain and says something to him, and Montgomery walks away. So I think it's a matter of the loss of the locker room and the lack of respect the players have for his coach, and they don't like his style. That team's a hell of a lot different than it was 164 games ago when they won that run 2 years ago. There's a lot of turnover of players. So maybe the new players aren't fitting with the new coach, with this coach anymore. So that's the other side of that. Because, I mean, Jim Montgomery, he's never been anywhere longer until except for the University of Denver, really, in his pro career for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, you know what, though, too, is even when I made my point, I was almost thinking that I was kind of being stupid, a little bit. Now, listen, yeah. I stand by what I said, if that's indeed the case. But the roster turnover for the Bruins actually was pretty good. They got a lot, all the guys that left Vancouver to make them a worse team. 2 of them went to Boston, and 1 of them went back to Vancouver. So, I know it was all UFA shit. Nobody made a big trade, but Boston got Zadorov, right? Didn't they? And they also got Elias Lindholm, didn't they?
Yeah, but I didn't want any of those players on my team. I didn't think they were good for Vancouver last year. Zadorov's just a big body. And Elias Lindholm disappeared in the playoffs. So okay. So if I have a team and there's no cap or whatever, and I offer you a trade of Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov for Jake DeBrusk, would you take that trade, or would you tell me to fuck off? I would take Jake DeBrusk on my team.
Ahead of those 2 guys as a package.
Yep.
Okay. So then I guess maybe my point stands according to you. But as far as I'm concerned, those two guys make that team tangibly better this season.
I don't think they are better.
All right. Well, whatever.
I think they both played for the Calgary Flames. They're not Calgary Flames weren't that good. Then they went to Vancouver, propped up by a better team, and then you go to a Boston team that has a bunch of turnover. They're not that good.
The two players in question. No, yeah. I don't know. Like, check Lindholm's numbers.
I'm getting back to the first thing you told me to talk about the Bruins coaching. So,
well, it relates.
I'm only going to go back 15 years. Julian was there for 10 years, from 07 to 2017. He won a Jack Adams. Then Cassidy won Jack Adams, and he was only there for 5 years. But then Montgomery was there for 2 years. He won a Jack Adams. But I mean, yeah, but 800 games, 400 games, no 200 games. So maybe the next guy only lasts 80 games.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, is Boston a better team this year than they were last year on paper?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well,
you only have one goalie now. You had two last year.
Yeah, that's a big loss, and that was handled very shittily. Like, I think you and I even covered it on this show, one of the earlier episodes. Like, why? Like, what? You trade your cushion before you re-sign, like the Lone Ranger. Like, what the fuck is that? Like yeah. And there's probably no question that they could have benefited by at least one or two extra victories if they were able to yank Swayman when he wasn't doing well and throw in. I mean, Korpisalo's okay, but he's not Olmark. So I don't know. Like,
and now we're gonna get. I'm gonna end your point.
I'm gonna end your point on
Elias Lindholm. No, hold on. I'm gonna end your point about Elias Lindholm being a good player. So he, like a lot of the Flames in the 2021-2022 season, when they had inflated numbers from their magical regular season run until we beat the shit out of them in 5 games. It was the biggest season of his career, the only year in the career he was a point per game player, and he was a plus 61. So it's an anomaly, not the regular. His agent sold a fake bill of goods to the Boston Bruins. In my
What's
opinion.
his contract?
He's got a cap hit of $7.75 million until 2030-31.
Wow.
So how many years is that from now? 7 years? I can't wait to see how he plays at 36 years old for that amount of money.
And we got Nuge for 5 and change, and he's a better player.
And his anomaly year is one of those big ones too, which I will say, but he also had a 70 anyways. He's making $2.5 million less. So
yeah, and you know what? Honestly, love him or hate him, Brad Marchand's a heart and soul guy. And if that guy's been playing for this guy for 2 years, plus whatever 20 games, and they're not agreeing, it doesn't matter if the guy's Superman, you fire him, because the guy's the heart and soul of your team. And if he's lost the captain, he's lost the room. Period. So I suppose I stand corrected. You know, but it's a mess in Boston, and it shouldn't be, because their team's better than how they're performing. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, it's everyone's favorite segment of the show where we normally end it off. Chris, you'll go first tonight with your asshole of the week, buddy.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say Paul Biznasty Bissonnette.
Why?
A lot of I think he called that. He didn't call that game. That was a Hockey Night in Canada game. That was Saturday.
He was working the
Yeah,
panel.
they had the round table, and that guy was like, "Listen, I did not for 1 second, for 1 fucking second. So just so you understand where I'm coming from, I did not for 1 second condone anything that Reeves did. Okay, like, I'm capable of looking at both sides of an issue, and the vast majority of the blame lies with Reeves. All I meant to say, and I don't want to rehash this, is that maybe it wouldn't have been so bad if Nurse was a little more aware. That's it. But motherfucker, he's like part of the knuckle draggers union of the NHL or whatever, just like George Peros, you know, where it's like there isn't even any thought to the incident, and the guy fucking jumps to the guy's defense from the jump. And like, I don't know if he's looking for more clicks. I mean, it's like, dude, you already have enough fucking followers, so fuck you. But maybe look at the game from both sides, like I'm trying to do over here, before you like immediately jump to a motherfucker's defense just because like he's like a no good has been fucking NHLer just like you. So that's my asshole of the week.
My only rebuttal to that is I do like the fact that Biz picks his side of the fence and rides or dies on it, and if he changes it, he comes out and says why and he apologizes. So it's happened. So just there you go. My asshole of the week is Zach Bryan, the musician.
Okay.
Just for the whole situation with his ex and whatever going on. I'm not going to get into that. But the fact that this guy charged upwards of $500 for tickets for concerts in Canada up here in Edmonton, even more for some of them. You're not that big of a deal. You're not that good. You greedy son of a bitch. No wonder you can offer some chick $12 million plus a house so she doesn't release videos of you beating her. So for that, Zach Bryan, you are my asshole of the week.
So just so I'm clear here, because I'm not that familiar. I mean, I Dwight Yoakam came out with a new album this week, and that's more my speed. But so did he sell out?
2 shows in Edmonton.
What's that?
2 shows.
He sold out 2 shows at like upwards of $500 a pop. Like, what would you say the average ticket price? Like $250?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know anything about the wife stuff, but I try to stay away from people's personal business. So
yeah, well, he offered $12 million not to release videos of him beating her. So
wow, that's
yeah.
Okay. You know what? Okay. All I'm going to say about that is, you can not like a guy's opinion, or you can think that he's full of shit or whatever. But anybody who lays a hand on a woman, you got it, Tyler. Asshole.
Well, I have a good friend of mine that had 2 rules. He only takes his shirt off for. Well, that's not the rules I want to say.
You.
Never mind, folks. Anyways, folks, we'll be back next week. I think the others play next Tuesday or Monday. I can't remember. No, they're off next Tuesday. So we'll do a little a show recapping the break heading into the game next Friday against Utah. Others play Thursday, Saturday, and then they're off until the Friday, the 6th, December 29th.
So
they play Thursday, Saturday, and then they don't play again until the Friday, the 29th in Utah for the first game at that shitty basketball arena in Salt Lake City.
Oh, so what you dear Oiler fan can do between Saturday and the game on what you said Friday is tune in to your good old buddies TC, and we'll fill you in on all that's going on and let you know what to expect on Friday. Get your hockey fix when the Oilers aren't playing.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, love you, kid. That was fun. Have a good week. Thanks, Andrea.